Hi, I'm Jason, and this is the Cultural Breakdown. This whole video isn't going to be about how Elemental failed at the box office. We all know that, and it's probably going to lose 100 million, but that's not the whole point. The point is that there's a pattern that we're seeing with this. I mean, you get films like Lightyear, Elemental, Little Mermaid, and soon to be Indiana Jones, which have been just box office failures. And you have to wonder, can they actually sustain themselves very long, pretty much working this way? I mean, I don't think they can. Granted, you get some movies like Avatar and Guardians of the Galaxy that are actually making money for them, but that can only last for so long. I mean, it's already enough to ask them to make money with their huge budgets. And now you're saying, oh, but you also have to offset the costs of our failed movies. That's really not the best way to go about it. Not to mention, they're pushing back production on a lot of their stuff for years now. I mean, yeah, granted, the writer strike is a part of that, so it's not entirely in Disney hands, but still, it's not a good sign when you have to push back the production on pretty much your only money makers, and that's just on the theaters. Then you go into, let's see, the streaming service. Yeah, you get their new show coming up, which is actually being said is worse than She-Hulk and Miss Marvel, shows that pretty much no one watched. Oh, Moon Knight, it's worse than that. Do you remember Moon Knight? I don't. No one seems to remember that, but it was a show on Disney Plus, and it was a Marvel related one. And that's really not a good sign when you have everything just failing like that. But look at their other revenue streams, like the parks. The parks aren't doing any better right now. People are not showing up to them because there's just nothing left there. They're canceling their projects that they actually had announced previously. And then they're also closing down other things like the Star Wars Hotel because no one went there. You look at the peak season for hotel bookings for Disney, and there's a lot of open spaces available. Meanwhile, Universal is booked up, and they're announcing new projects and they're building new stuff. A couple years, they're going to have the Nintendo World at Orlando. They just opened that one up in California, and that's doing really well. And then their streaming services on their own are just losing viewers too because no one cares about it. And this is my issue with Disney right now. They're failing all around, and look at what their solution is. It's to redo the same things that they've done before. Disney CEO Bob Iger announces more sequels in the animation franchises. See, their leadership has no creativity whatsoever. In fact, that was all Bob Iger's doing at Disney is like, hey, Fox shows are doing good. Lucasfilm, Star Wars, let's just buy up other properties because we have no idea what to do. And then when they buy them up, they're like, we don't know what to do. Okay, well, let's just redo them, but like race swap stuff or whatever. Or even if you don't do that, I mean, just make them lazily, and it doesn't work. People don't get gravitated to it. They think if it has a certain name to it, like Indiana Jones or Star Wars, people are destined to go to that. But if you're doing moves that alienate the fans of that franchise, then people aren't going to show up to it. And I don't know what they're actually going to be doing about it. I mean, this is something right here. It was just announced that they fired their chief diversity officer. I mean, I guess that's a positive step because her main contribution is just saying race swap characters. And if people don't like it or question it, you call them a bigot and say you don't want their business anyway. It's like, well, all right, we saw that with Little Mermaid and it didn't work out for them. So maybe they should try to shift up their strategy. Are they going to bring someone else in who does the same thing? Possibly, but or are they going to try to actually be a little bit realistic with it? Who knows? Either way, I don't really have much faith in what they're doing now, and I don't have much faith in what Bob Iger has done for Disney. Yeah, right here. Fairy tales and fantasy confronts the real world. The entertainment behemoth spent decades avoiding even the whiff of controversy, but has increasingly been drawn into the partisan political fray. It wasn't drawn into it. They stepped in it. They jumped into it with both feet. It's really just their hubris. They thought we're so big, nothing can ever happen to us. And now they're starting to get scared because they're realizing that things aren't so great for them anymore. And like I said, I don't trust Bob Iger to actually fix the problems with the company. I think he's just going to kind of do the same thing he's always done, which is just try to basically pillage other properties and just slap the Disney label on it without understanding it whatsoever. But they're going to run out of project or properties that they can buy, and they're also going to run out of money to actually buy stuff with it. You're seeing it right now that they're starting to cut back on things. They're removing a bunch of content from their streaming platform because the tax write-off is better for them than actually having that content. And I think they know that they're having to do something different, and that's why they're doubling down on what they that has succeeded in the past. Toy Story 4, Frozen 2, big money makers. So they're like, we need to at least stick with what works. And when you're actually succeeding, you're not just going to stick with what works. You're going to try to branch out and do other stuff and try new things. But they're really just turtling up and playing safe right now. And unless they get someone in charge who actually is a bit more creative and knows what they're doing, then you're going to see more of this. I mean, I don't think Bob Iger has that creativity, or he's not going to appoint people who do. He's too much of a, I don't know, micromanager to actually deal with that. So let me know in the comments, do you think Disney's going to actually turn this ship around, or do you think they need to get rid of Bob Iger before things will start to get better? Comment below, let me know. And if you like the video, make sure to click the like button, share the video, and to subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest news. Thank you.